Hey y'all, welcome back to another Monster High ranking video. Today we're going to be ranking all of the G1 and G2 Toralei Stripe dolls. So if this is an unfamiliar concept to you, if you're new to the channel or new to the series, this is a thing that I've been doing for a while now where I take an individual Monster High character and I rate the dolls produced for them. I am just doing G1 and G2 for each character because I started this before G3 came out and I just want to keep it consistent for now. So yeah, today we're going to be doing Toralei Stripe. I have said this several times if you have seen these, so I'm sorry if I'm being repetitive, but for those of you who don't know, I do plan on doing every character that has enough dolls to merit an individual video, and then every other character I'm just going to do in one like compilation video. I think from now on, because we're really getting low on characters that have enough to do their own video, I'm just going to go like alphabetically down the list of characters that still have enough dolls to have like a whole dedicated video for them. And then we're going to have the compilation video. We're getting very close to like the end of this, like the culmination of all of this work. But today, Toralei does have enough dolls to get her own video, so that's who we are ranking today. She doesn't have a ton of dolls, so this is going to be another shorter one. I've said before that pretty much all of these are going to be kind of short now if they're individual dolls, but I'm hoping it will still be fun. I have been wanting to do Toralei for a while, and one of you guys said on the last video you wanted to see Toralei, so that's who we're working with today. Typical disclaimer here is that this is just my opinion. I'm ranking these based on how I feel about the dolls, and if you feel differently, that's totally okay. It's not a big deal, and I would love to hear your rankings in the comments down below, but I think that's all I need to say to get started, so let's jump into it. So quick refresher, I do all of my rankings in Procreate, and my tiers for this are perfect, good but not for me. That's a category for dolls that I can objectively say are designed well, but I just don't personally like them. Mediocre, bad but it gets worse, and burn it. So to start off with Toralei, we're going to be starting strong with her original doll. And I feel like this might be slightly controversial because I'm not going to put her in perfect. I do think that she has a really cool design. I like her fashions. I like her color scheme. I like everything about her, so I don't have a concrete reason for not putting her in perfect, but something about her just doesn't quite reach that level for me. I really don't know what it is, and I kind of feel badly for that. But she's going to go in good because I do like this doll. Something's holding me back. Okay, then we have Power Ghouls, and I've said in a couple of these other videos that I really don't like the Power Ghouls line. I'm not the biggest superhero fan. I don't have anything against like superhero movies or the genre in general. I just am not the biggest fan, and especially combined with Monster High, it just wasn't for me. I definitely wasn't the target audience. That being said, I do think this is one of the stronger designs from the Power Ghouls line. I think some of them have like color schemes that really don't work for me, but this one is really true to Toralei's color scheme that she already comes with, and I think it's a good design. I just don't like it, so it's going to go in good but not for me, because I do think that like if you're just judging on whether it's designed well, I think it's designed well. Okay, next is Great Scarier Reef, and I've never hated this line as much as I think a lot of Monster High fans do. I don't think it was great, but I don't think it was the worst thing they've ever produced. And this one I actually think is pretty cool. I think she's inspired by a lionfish. I want to say that that's like the right fish that I'm thinking of. And I think that's a cool idea. I liked that they were using a lot of different kinds of sea creatures for inspiration for this line instead of just doing kind of generic mermaids. I think the thing holding her back for me is that I really hate her top. I just think the colors don't mesh at all with the other colors that she has going on. So while the actual body of this doll I think is very well designed, the little fashion that she does have I think really takes away from the overall design. And it also is just a little bit, like it's just a shirt and a necklace, which is not very exciting, and I wish that they had done more. So I'm gonna go ahead and put her in mediocre. Because like I'm a mermaid fan, so this line should have been stellar for me, and unfortunately it just wasn't. Okay, next up is Ghouls Alive, which is, I'm sure you can tell, pretty much just the original Toralei, except she had some like animated, I don't know if it was movement or like if her eyes were glowing in the dark or had like a light behind them or something. I'm not sure what the gimmick was with this one, but the Ghouls Alive dolls had some gimmick with them. So she's just slightly more oddly proportioned, like her hair and her face look a little bit off to me. And also she doesn't have her jacket and her shoes are not painted with as much detail. So she's literally just a downgraded version of the original doll. I think this Ghouls Alive doll in particular had a pretty bad downgrade. Like she's missing a lot of the detail from the original. And I don't get why. I definitely think not all of them were this bad, but this one I think is pretty awful, and I'm actually going to put this in bad but it gets worse. because they just took everything away from the original Toralei that I did like and left the worst bits, I guess. I don't know. Next up is Ghoul Sports, and you might be thinking I'm going to hate this one because if you have watched my channel for a while, you know that I'm not a sporty person and I don't tend to like sporty dolls. But I don't think this is the worst. In general, I like when Toralei gets some blue accents. I think that blue and orange is like a really fun color combination. They're opposites on the color wheel, so they contrast very nicely. So I like the aspect of the blue. I like the fishnet top. I don't get the sport aspect because like I'm not a sporty person, I'm not an athletic person, but I think her hair looks cool. I think if her shoes had been painted, they would have been cool. So I'm actually gonna put this in mediocre, which is still not the best rating, but like it's a lot better than it could have gotten from me. So I call that a win. Oh my gosh, okay. Garden Ghouls. This one is so hard for me. Just like with mermaids, I really like fairies. Like I'm very biased towards fairies. And I didn't notice until I was prepping for this video that her wings are printed with like a tiger's face. I think that is so awesome. Like I love that so much. It's such a cool idea. The wings look really, really cool. She's got the blue accent in her hair. I actually think her face looks quite nice on this doll. Basically everything about it I like. But for some reason, the overall effect is not good enough to where I would buy her. I don't know if that makes sense. I think the dress is probably the worst part for me. Something about it is just like taking away a little bit. It's not bad at all. And I actually do think I'm going to rate this good because the wings just knock it out of the park for me. I think that is so cool. I still wouldn't purchase her. Maybe if I got her like nude with just the wings and like without her dress, I would do a custom of her because I think the base doll is absolutely stunning. Obviously, like, stunning enough to get to good. But again, not quite perfect. Okay, freaky field trip, though. I know this is controversial, but I really, really like this doll. Again, we have the blue accents. We have transparent plastic shoes, which, like, I'm a sucker for. I don't know why I'm like this. I just love that design element so much. I also like the blue in her hair. I like her dress. I know that this is a simple design. I know that there's no reason really for me to like it as much as I do, but this is one of my favorite Toralei dolls, and I'm gonna go ahead and put her in perfect. I know that that is probably a weird ranking. I think this one might be one of my more contentious rankings, but I really like her. Following it up immediately after with what I think is another unpopular opinion is the Fierce Rockers Toralei. I also really like this one. I like her makeup. I think her hair looks good. I like every aspect of her outfit except the weird like cage thing that she's got going on with the collar. I think in concept it's kind of cool. It could have been very interesting if it were done just a little bit differently. There's something off about it, but I think it could have been nicer. If you take that away, I love this doll. I think it's so fun and so cool. I love the leotard. I love the belt and like the little skirt that's with it. I don't know why. I actually think this is a really good doll. And again, like I feel like that's an unpopular opinion, but here I am. She's going to go ahead and go in good.
Hello, really quick editing intermission. I don't know why this is when I realized that I forgot to talk about the Freak de Chic Toralei, but this is when I realized that, and I obviously had already filmed everything, and I'm in the editing process as we speak, and I'm ashamed to say that I forgot this doll because it's like literally my favorite Toralei. I don't know how I forgot her. I don't know what's wrong with me. Yeah, I just completely forgot that this doll existed, but she's gonna go in perfect. She is perfect, and I am just really not on top of it today. So sorry about that. The rest of the video is gonna be a little bit off. I think at one point I'm going to say that I only own one G1 or G2 Toralei, and that's the Coffin Bean one. And I also have the Freak de Chic Toralei. So like, I literally don't know what's happening to me today. I am so sorry, Toralei, that I forgot your best doll. But just pretend for the rest of the video that this one is sitting bright and bold in the perfect category, okay? Okay, cool. Let's get back to it.
Next up is Fearleading, and this is just really boring to me. All of the Fearleading dolls have basically the same uniform because, like, it is the cheerleading uniform. It makes sense, but, like, it's just not special. This was a 3-pack with Meowlity and Persephone. And I guess if you wanted, like, the 3 werecats, that was a good buy. But, I don't know. I just feel like it's the same doll, but with a less cool outfit. So I'm going to go ahead and put her in mediocre. Because the doll itself is nice, but, like, I just don't care for cheerleading dolls. And then lastly, we have the Coffin Bean Toralei. This is actually the only Toralei that I have from either G1 or G2.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
And I really do like her. Weirdly, she's not my favorite. Like, I like her, but she's not my favorite. I do think she's cute, though. I like the slightly longer hair, slightly asymmetric hair. I love the little drink that she comes with. I think it's precious. All of her outfit pieces are kind of simple, but I do think that they're very cute and very effective in what they do. So again, I'm going to rank her in good. So that's the whole ranking. Like I said, I know this is a quick one. And yeah, I feel like maybe this is a bit controversial. I feel like out of all the rankings that I've done, this is the one that I have felt least secure that people are going to agree with me on, except for Ghoulia. But yeah, this is just how I feel about the Toralei dolls. I know that this is also an incredibly unpopular opinion, but I actually really like G3 Toralei. Obviously, she's not included in this ranking, but I think that that doll is very, very pretty. So like, maybe because I like that doll so much, it's kind of clouding my vision for G1 and G2. I don't really know. But this is the ranking, so it could be worse. I didn't put any in Burn It. We're going to count that as a positive. But yeah, this is where we ended up today. So yes, that is going to be it for today. Like I said before, please do let me know in the comments what your ranking would be. There's only a few dolls, so it'll be a pretty easy process for you guys to rank. And I'm sure that this time there are going to be a lot of discrepancies in how you would rank them versus how I rank them. And I'm very interested to kind of see what those are. But I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, if you could like it, subscribe. I also have an Instagram and a coffee that you can follow me on. I'm trying to keep that spiel nice and short. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night or whatever it might be. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.